Everyone who has ever told you about God was afraid of orgasm. Think about it. Your priest stands in his temple, his church, his mosque, hands folded, eyes closed, talking about heaven, but ask him about the heaven that happens in the body and watch his face, watch the fear, watch the disgust. Why? Because he knows something you have forgotten. He knows that in that moment, that explosion of pleasure, God is closer than in any prayer. And if you discover this, you don't need him anymore. This is the conspiracy. And this conspiracy has left you empty, hollow, walking around with a hole inside you that nothing can fill. I want to talk to you today about something nobody wants to discuss, about the emptiness you feel, about why you wake up every morning and have to convince yourself to get out of bed, about why you have everything but feel nothing, about why your life looks successful from the outside but feels meaningless from the inside. And I want to show you that this emptiness is not accidental. It is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to understand it. Because unless you understand it, you will spend your whole life trying to fill a hole that can never be filled from the outside. For the next hour and a half, I am going to disturb you. I am going to challenge everything you have been taught about your body, your energy, your desires, your life. I am not going to give you comfort. I am not going to make you feel better about your emptiness. I am going to show you exactly why you are empty and exactly what you can do about it. But I warn you, what I am about to say will upset you. It will upset your parents. It will upset your teachers. It will upset your priests. Good, because they are the ones who made you empty in the first place. So let me begin with something simple, something you know but refuse to look at. The forbidden door everyone refuses to enter. Look around you. Really look. You see people everywhere, walking, talking, working, eating. But something is missing. They move like machines. They smile. But the smile doesn't reach the eyes. You know this feeling. You feel it in yourself. You wake up in the morning and something inside says, "Is this it? Is this all there is?" Another day, same routine, same empty conversations, same meaningless tasks. And at night, you fall into bed exhausted, not from living, but from pretending to live. You have accumulated everything except life itself. And you know why? Because somewhere, maybe at 20, maybe at 25, you made a deal with society. Society said, "Kill your aliveness and we will give you success. Suppress your wildness and we will give you respect. Control your passion and we will give you stability." And you agreed. You signed the contract. Now you have the success. You have the respect. You have the stability. But the aliveness is gone. And without that fire, without that juice, without that energy that comes from the deepest core of your being, you are just a walking museum, full of things, but nothing living inside. You have been put in cages, not physical cages, psychological cages. Cages called offices where you sit under artificial light for 8 hours doing work you don't care about. Cages called marriages without love where you sleep next to someone you stopped desiring years ago. Cages called lives of respectability where you cannot say what you feel, cannot do what you want, cannot be who you are. And like factory chickens in cages, you produce, you function, you perform. Your work gets done, your bills get paid, Your responsibilities are met, but you are not living, you are just surviving. And survival is not life. Now you will say, what does this have to do with sexual energy? Everything. Because the moment you stop feeling desire, stop feeling that pull toward life, stop feeling that fire in the belly, you have started dying. Sexual energy is not just about sex. Sexual energy is life energy. It is the same force. When you see a child running, laughing, exploring, that is sexual energy. When you feel passion for your work, when you feel excitement about an idea, when you feel drawn toward beauty, toward music, toward dance, that is sexual energy. It is the energy of aliveness itself. And when you kill it, when you suppress it, when you shame it, you kill aliveness itself. Old people don't die because their body stops. Old people die because they stop desiring. They have given up. They sit in their chairs waiting for death because somewhere they decided that desire is for the young, that passion is inappropriate, that aliveness is undignified. They say things like, I am too old for that. I am past that stage. I should be thinking about serious things now. And what they mean is, I have killed my life force. I have given up on feeling alive. Now I am just waiting to make it official. And society loves this. Society loves dead people. Dead people are obedient. Dead people don't ask uncomfortable questions. Dead people don't challenge the system. Dead people don't rebel. Dead people just follow the rules, pay their taxes, and die quietly. This is what civilization wants. Not alive human beings, but functioning machines. And the way to turn a human being into a machine is simple. Make them afraid of their own energy. Make them ashamed of their own aliveness. Make them believe that their natural desire is somehow wrong, sinful, animal, low. And they will do the rest. They will kill themselves from the inside. You will do the work of your own destruction. And you will even feel virtuous about it. You will even feel proud. You will say, I have control. I have discipline. I have conquered my desires. And you will not realize that what you have conquered is your own life. You have everything except the one thing that matters. You have success, but you don't have life. You have achievements, but you don't have aliveness. You have built a beautiful cage, and now you are trapped inside it, and you wonder what is wrong with you. Why do I feel this weight on my chest? Why does everything feel grey? Why does nothing touch me? Why does nothing move me? Because you have cut yourself off from your life force. You have made a deal with society. You have agreed to be half a human being, the respectable half, the controlled half, the productive half. But the wild half, the passionate half, the alive half, you have locked that in the basement, and now you are surprised that you feel empty. But this raises a deeper question. If you can feel this emptiness, if you know something is wrong, then how did it start? When did you become this way? When did you agree to this deal? Let me take you back to the very beginning. Your body knows what your mind forgot. What happened to you? You were not always like this. You were born alive, completely, totally, absolutely alive. When you were a baby, you cried when you were hungry. Not politely, not quietly. You screamed, you demanded. You made sure the whole world knew what you needed. And when you were happy, you laughed. From your belly, with your whole body. No holding back, no control, no concern about what others might think. You touched everything, you tasted everything, you explored everything. No shame, no fear, no judgment. Just pure life force flowing through you like a river. And then slowly, bit by bit, day by day, they started training you. Your parents, your teachers, your society, they started teaching you to be civilized. And being civilized meant being dead. Don't cry so loud, don't laugh so much, don't run, don't jump, don't make noise. Don't touch that. Don't ask that question. Don't want that thing. Sit still. Be quiet. Be good. And being good meant killing that fire inside you. Being good meant betraying your own nature. Being good meant becoming what they wanted you to be instead of what you were. By the time you were 5 or 6, you had learned the basic lesson. Your aliveness is not acceptable. Your natural self is not welcome. If you want to be loved, if you want to be approved of, if you want to belong, you have to hide who you really are. You have to pretend, you have to perform. And so you learned. You learned to smile when you didn't feel like smiling. You learned to sit still when your body wanted to move. You learned to be quiet when your heart wanted to scream. And bit by bit, you disconnected from yourself. Bit by bit, you became a stranger to your own being. Then came the teenage years, and something happened that terrified everyone around you. Your body woke up. Suddenly, you felt this energy, this heat, this force rising in you that you had never felt before. You looked at someone and your heart started racing. You thought about things you were not supposed to think about. You felt things you were not supposed to feel. Your body was becoming sexual. And immediately the alarm bells started ringing. This is dangerous. This is wrong. This is the thing we have been warning you about. This is the enemy. And so the training intensified. The messages became clearer. The punishment became harsher. This is dirty. This is shameful. This is animal. You are better than this. Good people don't think about such things. Spiritual people don't feel such things. Successful people control such things. And so you learn the most dangerous skill a human being can learn. You learned how to strangle your own aliveness. You learned how to kill the very force that makes you human. Some of you did this through religion. You were told that sexual thoughts are sinful, that your body is the enemy of your soul, that to reach God you must kill your desire. And so you tried, you prayed, you fasted, you punished yourself. And every time a sexual thought came, you felt guilty, you felt dirty, you felt like you were failing God. But the thoughts kept coming because they are natural, because they are part of being alive. And so you lived in constant conflict, constant war, constant guilt, and that guilt ate you from the inside. Some of you did this through ambition. You were told that successful people don't waste time on such things. That if you want to achieve something in life, you must focus, you must sacrifice. You must put aside these distractions. And so you threw yourself into work, into achievement, into building something. And every time you felt desire, you pushed it aside. You told yourself, later, when I am successful, then I will live. When I have achieved my goals, Then I will allow myself to feel. But later never came. Success came, but the emptiness remained. Because you cannot postpone life. You cannot put aliveness on hold. When you say no to your energy now, you say no to life itself. Some of you did this through relationships. You got married, you had children, you built a family, and you thought, now I have fulfilled my sexual responsibility. Now I can relax. Now I can be mature and serious and respectable. And so you stopped looking at your partner with desire. You stopped feeling that excitement. You stopped making love and started having sex. Mechanical, routine, duty. And you call this maturity. You call this stability. But what you really created was a graveyard. Two dead people living together, taking care of responsibilities, but never really touching each other, never really seeing each other, never really alive with each other. Now you are an adult, mature, responsible, respected, controlled, and completely, utterly, absolutely empty. Because what you strangled was not just sexual desire. What you strangled was your connection to life itself. Sexual energy is not separate from life energy. It is the same current, the same fire, the same force. When a tree wants to bloom, where does that impulse come from? From life force. When a bird builds a nest, where does that drive come from? From life force. When you feel excited about something, truly excited, truly passionate, truly alive, where does that come from? From the same source, the source of life, the source of creativity, the source of everything that makes existence beautiful. And you have been taught to cut yourself off from that source. Think about what happens when you dam a river. The water doesn't disappear. The water doesn't just stop existing. It becomes stagnant. It loses its freshness. It starts to smell. The whole ecosystem collapses. This is what happens when you dam your sexual energy. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't just go away because you suppressed it. It becomes your anger, your irritation, your frustration, your jealousy, your violence, your depression, your anxiety, your constant complaining, your endless criticism. All of it is just suppressed life force trying to find a way out. The anger you feel at the world is simply anger at your own suppressed energy. The criticism you have for others is simply frustration with your own unlived life. The judgment you project onto others is simply your own self-judgment reflected back. Because what you do to yourself, you do to others. When you are at war with yourself, you create war everywhere. When you have killed your own aliveness, you cannot tolerate aliveness in others. This is why suppressed people are always trying to suppress others. This is why people who have killed their own joy cannot stand to see others joyful. This is why societies that repress sexuality are also the most violent societies. The energy has to go somewhere, and if it cannot flow naturally, it will flow destructively. Your body is screaming at you every single day. It is sending you signals, messages. Please pay attention. Tension in your shoulders, that is not random, that is held energy. Tightness in your jaw, that is not just stress, that is unexpressed emotion. Shallow breathing, that is not just anxiety, that is life force being restricted. Constant tiredness, even though you sleep 8 hours, that is not just age, that is the exhaustion of fighting yourself every single day. Headaches, stomach problems, back pain, insomnia, all of these are messages. Your body is saying, please let the energy flow. Please stop holding everything in. Please stop pretending you are made of stone, but you don't listen. You go to a doctor. The doctor gives you a pill. The pill suppresses the symptom, but the cause remains. Or you go to a therapist. The therapist helps you understand your childhood. You talk about your parents. You talk about your trauma. You gain insight, but nothing changes. Because insight without action is just intellectual entertainment. Or you try meditation. You sit quietly. You watch your breath. You try to calm your mind, but the mind won't calm, because the problem is not in the mind. The problem is in the suppressed energy, and you cannot meditate it away. You cannot think it away. You cannot understand it away. You have to release it. You wake up every morning and you don't know why. You have money. You have family. You have everything you worked for. You built a successful life. You provided. You did everything right. But when you open your eyes, you feel nothing. No excitement, no curiosity, no desire to see what the day brings. Just another day to get through. Just another set of hours to fill. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Not just happy, not just content, but truly, wildly, completely alive. Maybe when you were 20, when you were in love, when everything felt possible, when every day was an adventure. What happened? You grew up, you became responsible, you put away childish things, you learned to be serious, you learned to focus on what matters, but you didn't put away childish things. You put away life itself. You didn't become mature, you became dead. And now you are surprised that you feel empty. You think maturity means killing your passion. You think being an adult means being dead from the neck down. You think responsibility means sacrificing your aliveness. And now you are a responsible, mature, successful corpse. And you call this life. It's never too late. As long as you are breathing, the energy is still there. Suppressed, yes. Hidden, yes, but not dead. Energy cannot die. It can only be blocked. And what is blocked can be unblocked. But you have to be willing. You have to be willing to feel again, to want again, to desire again. Even if society says you are too old, even if your children think it's inappropriate, even if your mind says it's dangerous, you have to choose. Either die respectably or live dangerously. So now you understand where the problem started. In childhood, in training, in conditioning, in the systematic killing of your life force in the name of civilization. But understanding the problem is not enough. Understanding gives you knowledge, but knowledge without transformation is just more weight to carry. Now comes the important part. What can you actually do about it? The alchemy that turns lead into gold. The emptiness you feel is not random. It is not bad luck. It is not because you haven't found your purpose yet. The emptiness is because you are running on empty. You have disconnected the fuel line. You are trying to drive a car with no petrol and wondering why it won't move. And everyone around you is doing the same thing. All of you. sitting in your dead cars, in your dead lives, engines silent, honking at each other, blaming each other, complaining about traffic, while the fuel station is right there, right inside you. Always available, always ready, but you have been told it's dangerous. You have been told that if you go there, something terrible will happen. You will lose control. You will become immoral. You will ruin your life. And so you sit there in your dead car, slowly dying of boredom, and you call this being civilized. You call this being spiritual. You call this being responsible. You call this being human. But look at animals, look at trees, look at children before they are trained. They are not civilized like you. They don't repress like you. They don't suppress like you. And they are not empty like you, because they have not learned to betray their own nature. A cat does not feel guilty for being a cat. A tree does not apologize for being a tree. A child does not question whether their laughter is appropriate. They simply are what they are, fully, completely, without division, without conflict, without war. And in that simple being, they are alive, they are connected, they are whole. Here is what nobody told you. That energy you are suppressing, that fire you are sitting on, that force you are fighting every single day, it is not your enemy, it is your power, your fuel, your life source, your creative force. Every great artist who ever lived knew this. Every real mystic who ever walked this earth knew this. Every person who has ever created something beautiful, something meaningful, something that changed the world, they knew. This, the energy that creates babies, is the same energy that creates music, the same energy that creates poetry, the same energy that creates dance, discovery, invention, innovation, transformation. It is creative energy. It is life energy. And you are wasting it by fighting it. When you fight your sexual energy, you fight your own life force. And that fight is exhausting. That fight takes everything. All your attention, all your power, all your juice, all your vitality. It all goes into maintaining that fight, into keeping the lid on, into holding everything down, into making sure nothing escapes. And then you wonder why you have no energy left for anything else. Why you feel tired all the time even though you didn't do anything. Why you cannot concentrate. Why you cannot create. Why nothing excites you. Why nothing moves you. Why you feel numb. Because you are at war with yourself. And in that war, both sides lose. You used to love what you do. When you first started, when you were younger, you felt so alive. Every day was joy. Every moment was freedom. You felt like you were flying. But now, when you do the same thing, you feel nothing. It's just movements, just technique, just going through the motions, empty, dead. You practice, you perform, people applaud, but inside you know something is missing. The soul is gone. What changed? Nothing changed externally. You still do the same work. You still follow the same routine. You still do everything you are supposed to do. But something changed in you. You became more serious, more professional. You stopped doing it for joy and started doing it for success, for approval, for achievement, for perfection. You stopped letting your body lead and started letting your mind lead. Your work is not a mental activity. Your work is energy. Your work is life force moving through you. But your mind came in and said, control this, make it perfect, make it impressive, make it correct. And in that control, in that perfection, you kill the soul, you kill the spontaneity, you kill the wildness, you kill the life. Now you have technique, but you don't have soul. You have form, but you don't have content. You have performance, but you don't have presence. You say, but I have to control, otherwise it won't be good. Otherwise people won't appreciate it. Otherwise I won't be successful. But you are already successful. You have the career, you have the recognition, but you don't have joy. You don't have aliveness. You don't have the very thing that made you want to do this in the first place. So what is the success for? Who is it for? The people watching, the critics, your teachers, your parents, or for you, for your own heart, for your own soul? You forgot why you started. You forgot what it felt like to do this just for the joy of doing it. When you were a child doing what you loved with no one watching, was it perfect? No. It was wild, it was messy, it was chaotic. Sometimes you would make mistakes. Sometimes you would do things that made no sense. But it was real. It was you. It was alive. That wildness, that mess, that chaos, that realness, that is what's missing now. That is the soul. You have technique now, you have skill, you have knowledge, but you lost the source. You lost the energy, you lost the connection to your own body, to your own being. Your body wants to move from its own intelligence, from its own rhythm, from its own aliveness, but you keep forcing it to move from your mind, from your ideas, from your ambition. And your body is tired of being a slave to your mind. How do you get it back? You don't get it back. You never lost it. It's still there. You just covered it with layers of training, with layers of control, with layers of fear, with layers of ambition. But underneath all those layers, the wild you is still there. The child who did things with no one watching is still there. You just have to give yourself permission. Permission to be messy. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to be alive. Next time you do what you do, don't do it for anyone. Not for the audience, not for the judges, not for success. Do it for yourself. Do it because your body wants to. Do it because life is moving through you. Do it because you cannot not do it. And see what happens. This happens in every area of life. You learn the technique, you master the form, you achieve the success, but you lose the essence. You lose the soul. You lose the connection to the source. You know how to have sex, but you don't know how to make love. You know how to talk, but you don't know how to communicate. You know how to work, but you don't know how to create. You know how to think, but you don't know how to feel. Everything becomes mechanical, dead, empty. And then you wonder why nothing satisfies you anymore. Why nothing feels real anymore. Why you are living but not feeling alive. Sexual energy is like fire. This is a simple truth. Fire is neither good nor bad. Fire is power. A fool's house burns down because he doesn't know how to use fire. He is careless. He is unconscious. He is asleep. And the fire, because it is fire, does what fire does. It burns. But a wise man uses the same fire to cook his food, to warm his home, to light his way. The fire is the same. The difference is in the consciousness. The difference is in the awareness. The difference is in how you relate to it. You are not asked to put out the fire. You are not asked to pretend the fire doesn't exist. You are asked to become someone who knows how to use fire, to become someone who can transform that raw heat into nourishment, into light, into warmth, into creativity. But first, you have to stop being afraid of the fire. You have to stop believing that fire is evil. You have to stop believing that heat is dangerous. Fire is not evil. Heat is not dangerous. Fire is power. And you need that power if you want to live. You need that heat if you want to be alive. You need that energy if you want to create anything meaningful in this world. You used to write, stories would just flow out of you. You couldn't stop them. You would wake up in the middle of the night with ideas and have to write them down. But now, nothing comes. You sit in front of your screen for hours and nothing happens. Everything stays blank. Your mind stays blank. The words don't come anymore. What changed in your life? You got stable. You got a steady routine. You became responsible. Isn't that good? Isn't that what you are supposed to do? You killed your fire. You thought stability means killing the chaos. You thought responsibility means killing the passion. You thought being mature means being predictable. And now you wonder why your creativity is dead. Creativity is not predictable. Creativity is chaos. Creativity is fire. Creativity is wildness. It comes from the same source as your sexual energy. It comes from the same fire. And when you dam that fire, when you control that fire, when you make your life so stable that nothing moves, nothing shakes, nothing surprises you, then creativity has nowhere to come from. You say, but I cannot be irresponsible. I have bills to pay. I have commitments. Nobody is asking you to be irresponsible, but you have confused responsibility with deadness. You have confused stability with stagnation. You can be responsible and alive. You can be committed and passionate. You can be stable and creative. But you have to keep the fire burning. You have to keep the energy flowing. You have to keep some wildness in your life, some chaos, some unpredictability, some risk, some danger, because without that you are not living. You are just managing. And you cannot create from management. You can only create from aliveness. Every person who has ever created something that mattered, every artist, every musician, every writer, every inventor, every innovator, they all had one thing in common. They had strong sexual energy. Not necessarily that they were promiscuous, not necessarily that they had many partners, but they had that fire, that juice, that aliveness, that raw, wild, untamed energy flowing through them. And they didn't suppress it, they didn't fight it. They channeled it, they transformed it, they used it, and that energy became their art, their music, their words, their discoveries, their contribution to the world. You want to know why nothing you do feels satisfying anymore? Because you are doing it from your head, from your ideas, from your ambition, from your fear. But nothing great ever came from the head. Nothing beautiful ever came from ideas. Nothing real ever came from ambition. Everything that has ever mattered came from the fire, from the belly, from that place deep inside you where life force lives. and you have cut yourself off from that place. You have barricaded it. You have built walls around it, and now you wonder why you feel empty, why you feel numb, why you feel dead. Now I want to show you something even more dangerous, something that will upset many people, but it needs to be said. Why love without sex is poetry without music. Stop the war. Right now, stop it. Not by indulging every impulse like a fool, but by accepting that this energy is yours. It is natural. It is beautiful. It is the only thing that makes you different from a stone. A stone has no desire. A stone has no passion. A stone is very pure, very controlled, very dead. Do you want to be a stone? Then keep suppressing. But if you want to be alive, you have to make friends with your life force. You are walking and you see a couple holding hands, but the moment they see people watching, they let go, as if they had been caught stealing. Why? People were looking. So what? It's not appropriate. Not in public. You know what's truly inappropriate? That you can hold a gun in public and nobody will stop you, but you cannot hold the hand of someone you love. Your society has made violence acceptable and love shameful. The poison has entered deep. The poison that says your natural affection is somehow dirty. This is the split that destroys you. You separate love from sex. You say love is pure, sex is dirty. Love is spiritual, sex is animal. Love is forever, sex is momentary. And in creating this split, you destroy both, because they are not separate. They cannot be separate. Love without sexual energy is like a flower without roots. It looks beautiful in a vase for 2 days and then it dies. Real love, living love, has roots, deep roots. And those roots are in the body, in the earth, in that raw, wild, sexual energy. You praise the flower but hate the mud. You want the rose but despise the earth. This is your split. This is your sickness. The flower knows, without roots, I am dead. Without earth, I am decoration, not life. Your love without sexual energy becomes greeting card sentiments, beautiful words, dead feelings. You say, I love you, and the words sound hollow because there is no fire behind them, no juice, no electricity, just correct words said at the correct time. You have been married for 15 years, you respect each other, you take care of each other, but something is missing. The spark is gone. When was the last time you looked at each other with desire? You look embarrassed. You say, we are mature now. We are beyond that. You are not beyond that. You are beneath that. You have fallen below life, not risen above it. Maturity is not about killing passion. Maturity is about bringing consciousness to passion. You ask, but isn't spiritual love higher than physical love? There is no such thing. Love is one. When it flows through the body, you call it sex. When it flows through the heart, you call it love. When it flows through the mind, you call it compassion. When it flows through your being, you call it prayer. But it is the same energy, the same river flowing at different levels. And if you block it at the first level, it never reaches the higher levels. This is simple physics. If you close the tap at the ground floor, how will water reach the terrace? You want spiritual love. You want divine love. You want cosmic love. but you are not willing to honor the body. You are not willing to honor desire. You are not willing to honor sexuality. And then you wonder why your spirituality feels empty, why your prayers feel dead, why your meditation leads nowhere. Because you are trying to build a house starting from the roof. You have to start from the foundation. And the foundation is the body. The foundation is sexuality. The foundation is that raw, biological, natural energy. You see a couple in their 70s, and you can still see it, the way they look at each other, the way they touch, still alive, still electric. What is their secret? They never stopped desiring each other. People told them, at your age, you should be thinking about God. They said, we find God in each other. And that is the truth. That is the secret nobody wants to hear. God is not somewhere up in the sky. God is here, in the body, in the desire, in the merging, in the oneness that happens when two beings meet in total presence, in total love, in total surrender. But this brings us to something even more uncomfortable, something that will make you angry. Because now I need to tell you who benefits from your emptiness, who profits from your suppression, who wants you dead. The society that profits from your guilt. If this is so natural, so obvious, why did civilization work so hard to hide it? Let me tell you something that will disturb you. Make a man guilty about his natural energy, and he becomes a slave. He will do anything to prove he is good. He will follow any rule, obey any authority, work any job, all to escape the shame you planted in his heart. This is not morality. This is control, and you have been controlled. The priest who condemns sex by day fantasizes about it by night. The politician who talks about family values has 3 mistresses. The teacher who punishes children for normal curiosity was punished the same way and now passes on the disease. This is how it works. Hurt people, repress people. And the cycle continues, generation after generation, each one more dead than the last. You know what makes me laugh? Your society has more rules about sex than about war. You can show a man being shot on television, but you cannot show 2 people making love. You can teach children how to kill in video games, but you cannot teach them how their own body works. Violence is entertainment. Love is obscene. And you don't see the insanity in this? You don't see how sick this is? Your mother found your son looking at pictures of naked women. She is upset. What should she do? Nothing. But this is wrong. He should not be interested in such things. Why not? He is 14. His body is waking up. This is natural. But she is afraid he will become addicted. He will become perverted. You know what creates perversion? Shame, secrecy. When you tell a young person that their natural curiosity is dirty, you make it dirty. When you tell them they are bad for feeling what they feel, you make them feel bad. And that feeling of badness, that shame, that creates the real problems. Your son is not looking at pictures because he is bad. He is looking at pictures because nobody will talk to him honestly about his own body. You have made sex such a taboo that he has to sneak around, hide, feel guilty. And in that guilt, in that shame, you are planting the seeds of real sickness, not sexuality, but the fear of sexuality. Look at your religious institutions. They preach celibacy, but they are filled with abuse. They condemn pleasure, but they are obsessed with controlling others. Why? Because when you repress something, it doesn't go away. It goes underground. It becomes dark. It becomes twisted. The same energy that could have been a beautiful expression of love becomes manipulation, becomes violence, becomes abuse. You are 25 years old. You cannot be with a woman. Every time you try, you feel so much guilt, so much fear. You freeze. You become two. The body wants to move like a river. The mind stands on the bank with a whistle and a stick. One step forward, two steps back. The breath becomes shallow. The heart beats fast for the wrong reason, and afterward you call yourself a failure. Not because love is wrong, because the conditioning is stronger than your courage. This is how guilt colonizes your body. First, it steals your joy. Then it sells it back to you in little packages labeled virtue. When natural energy is condemned, it does not disappear. It becomes disguised. It becomes anxiety. It becomes anger. It becomes the need to dominate, to prove, to perform. It becomes the endless chase for substitutes, status, applause, control. A society built on guilt must offer replacements for intimacy. Prestige instead of presence, pornography instead of tenderness, accumulation instead of communion. And every replacement produces more hunger, more emptiness. That emptiness is profitable. They say, be spiritual, cut off the roots. I say, let the roots be nourished and you will see the flower. Sexual intimacy is not the enemy of spirit. Unconsciousness is. When love is lived with awareness, with respect, with consent, with totality, it becomes a door first to the other, then to yourself, then to silence. When the same energy is poisoned with shame, it becomes a prison, first for the body, then for the heart, then for the soul. I am not telling you to be promiscuous. I am telling you to be present. I am not teaching indulgence. I am teaching innocence. Sex without awareness becomes mere friction. Awareness without love becomes cold. Bring intelligence. Bring the heart. Bring a sense of the sacred, not borrowed holiness, but the simple recognition that this body is the temple given to you by existence. When two mature, consenting beings meet in truth, their bodies speak a language older than any scripture and more healing than any psychology. There is no guilt in that, only gratitude. You ask me, what about celibacy? If it arises from fear, it is a mask. If it flowers from fulfillment, it is freedom. First know love totally. Then if aloneness happens, it will be a celebration, not an escape. The repression sold to you as virtue has filled institutions with hypocrisy. When desire is driven underground, it returns as manipulation and abuse. When desire is illuminated, it becomes creativity and compassion. You ask me, what about discipline? Real discipline means learning the art of energy, where it moves, how it moves, when it gets entangled, when it becomes a song. It is not about tightening the fist, it is about opening the palm. A clenched fist cannot hold a hand, and you at 25, afraid of closeness, see the trick. You are not broken, you are over-policed. The inner guard that shouts dirty and dangerous is not your conscience. It is a recording. You can switch it off not by fighting, but by witnessing. Watch the shame arise like a cloud. Do not climb into it. Watch the fear enter the body. Soften the belly. Lengthen the exhale. Let it pass. Invite trust slowly. Speak your trembling out loud to your partner. Trembling shared becomes tenderness. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving with fear in your arms. The marketplace will laugh at this softness. It will call it weakness. Remember, softness is not the opposite of strength. It is the opposite of rigidity. Only a rigid branch breaks in the storm. The living branch bends and lives. Your energy wants to dance, not march. Let it dance. Who loses when you become intimate, creative content? The industries of distraction, the sellers of guilt, the entire machinery that needs you restless to keep turning. When love satisfies, shopping becomes occasional, not compulsive. When your evenings are filled with presence, your nights do not require anesthetics. When your mornings carry the fragrance of gratitude, the day cannot be bribed. So rebel in the simplest possible way. Respect your body, honor your desire, refuse to be shamed. Learn the alphabet of touch listening, patience, playfulness. Learn the grammar of the heart, truth, consent, care, and let meditation be the bloodstream of it all. A clear, cool awareness that neither clings nor condemns. Then sex is not against prayer. Sex becomes prayer not to any idol, but to life itself. From sex, love. From love, silence. From silence, the overflowing that blesses the whole world. And if you notice resistance rising like a tight fist in the belly, good, it means the conditioning heard the verdict. Let it tremble, let it hiss. You do not have to argue with noise. Breathe. The exhale is a small rebellion against centuries of borrowed fear. Who profits when you doubt your own innocence? The trade of shame is older than coins. They sell you virtue to keep you obedient, and then sell you pleasure to keep you addicted. Either way, you are sold. Step out of the market. Step into your body as if it were a temple you forgot you built. If what I have said makes the room too loud inside you, good. Take a slower breath than usual. What follows prefers privacy. When two bodies meet, eternity opens. When two bodies truly meet, the clock forgets its numbers and eternity borrows your name. There is a crest where language becomes shy. You arrive not as performers, but as presence. Mind stops narrating, time stops counting, and ego, the small accountant of identity, misplaces its ledger. You do not conquer this peak, you forget to struggle. The little self falls out of the way. Only energy remains bright, effortless, innocent. Many call it pleasure because they are shy of larger words. The cleaner name is meditation, its first taste. The meditator sits for years to glimpse that gap where thought unclenches. The lover sometimes enters it by surprise. The wise one learns to enter consciously. How? Not by chasing. The moment you chase the wave, you are no longer riding it. Replace chase with listening. Replace goal with gaze. Keep your breath unhurried. Let inhales and exhales meet naturally like tides. Look into the eyes until the mask slips and the face becomes a window. Touch as if your hands have ears. Move as if you are reading Braille written on the soul. Make the body the instrument and let awareness be the musician. When awareness plays, the biological becomes spiritual, the horizontal becomes vertical. This is not ornament, it is the physics of the heart. The ego survives by separation. Where separation dissolves, the ego cannot stand. It vanishes, and what remains is oneness. You do not disappear into emptiness. You appear as everything. Afterward, the mind will boast and write a shiny autobiography. Do not believe it. You did not do the moment you stopped doing long enough for the moment to do you. Safety is not a mood, it is a practice. Speak your boundaries before the body speaks for you. The clean yes and the clean no are the two wings of the same bird. Without them, intimacy collapses into negotiation. With them, intimacy becomes devotion. Devotion is not submission, it is precision, a careful, joyous exactness about what honors the living moment. If fear appears, do not exile it like a criminal. Name it like weather. I am afraid of failing. I am afraid of being seen. I am afraid of wanting. Each sentence turns a locked room into a lit one. In light, fear loses its costumes. Then you can move again, not because fear vanished, but because trust grew larger. And when the crest softens into quiet, do not rush for noise. The so-called afterglow is not after, it is your being's natural light when the commentator finally rests. Let silence finish what the body began. When silence becomes familiar, meditation is no longer a practice. It is your air. What makes this sacred is not any ritual, it is awareness. Without awareness, touch is friction. With awareness, touch is prayer, not to an idol, but to life itself. The prayer is your presence, the Amen is the shared breath. Some ask, isn't the peak only animal surge dressed up? The animal knows how to move, yes. The mystic knows how to witness. When mover and witness marry in you, you are no longer a body trying to be spiritual or a spirit denying the body. You are whole. And now the old question taps your shoulder. Why do I feel incomplete? Good. Let's turn the answer you've rehearsed upside down and set it back on its feet. Your incompleteness is a gift, not a curse. It is a compass. The ache is an angel with work to do. You feel incomplete because you are incomplete by design. The seed feels incomplete because it owes the world a tree. The river feels incomplete because it owes the ocean its arrival. The tug in your chest is not sickness, it is the pulse of becoming. Often sexual longing is spiritual hunger wearing a familiar costume. It asks, will you move from seeking completion to becoming whole? Seeking completion says, find me a person to fill the gap. Becoming whole says, let me gather the parts I abandoned. One path creates dependency, the other creates dignity. The other can mirror you, open you, unbutton the sky for a moment, but they cannot live for you. If you ask a partner to complete you, you turn love into a theater where a miracle must be performed every day. If you demand that you alone be sufficient, You turn solitude into another performance. Both are exhausting. Wholeness is simpler. Integration, body, heart, intelligence, awareness moving in one direction. Accept the urge to transcend the urge. When you stop making war on the hunger, it stops masquerading as emergency and begins to reveal its message. Beneath the surface desire, what is the deeper request? Connection, safety, play, rest, recognition, sacredness? Meet that request honestly, and the frantic edge softens. Then intimacy becomes a gift rather than a fix. Practice without prison. Each morning ask, what is needed for wholeness today? Not a 10-year plan, a today-sized promise. A walk without the phone, a conversation you keep postponing, movement that melts the armor between your shoulders, a creative act that costs nothing but attention. 10 unnegotiated minutes of stillness where you do not improve yourself, you simply are. This is not self-help, this is self-honor. If you share life with someone, offer 5 truthful minutes daily. Eyes open, breath soft, words simple. What feels open? What feels tight? What would make today gentle? No fixing. Seeing is the start of healing. Allies in truth make desire safe enough to become sacred. When wholeness begins, the world rearranges. Shopping becomes occasional, not compulsive. Entertainment becomes seasoning, not diet. Work becomes contribution, not punishment. Touch becomes prayer, not transaction. And the emptiness you feared becomes a room you can sit in comfortably, because now there is a window, a chair, and your own heartbeat audible in the quiet. Do not hurry this. Oaks do not negotiate with winter. They stand, and spring happens to them. Your becoming does not need acceleration. It needs fewer interruptions. The interruption is the story that insists, I should be finished by now. No, you are a book being written by life, and life edits slowly. What about celibacy? If it grows from fear, it is a mask. If it flowers from fulfillment, it is freedom. First know love deeply. Then, if aloneness comes, it will be celebration, not escape. What about discipline? Let it mean consistency in kindness, clarity in boundaries, courage in truth, not a clenched jaw, but an open hand that knows when to hold and when to let go. Who loses when you become intimate, creative, content? The industries of distraction, the sellers of guilt, the machine that needs you restless to keep turning. When love satisfies, consumption shrinks to proportion. When evenings are full of presence, nights don't require anesthetics. When mornings carry the scent of gratitude, the day cannot be bribed. Rebel simply. Respect your body. Honor your desire. Refuse to be shamed. Study the alphabet of touch, listening, patience, playfulness. Learn the grammar of the heart, truth, consent, care. Let meditation be the bloodstream of it all. A clear, cool awareness that neither clings nor condemns. Then sex is not against prayer. Sex becomes prayer to life itself. From sex, love. From love, silence. From silence, the overflowing that blesses the room when you enter. If resistance knocks while you hear this, greet it. The knots loosen slowly. One morning you will touch without shame, kiss without calculation, and rest without apology. That day you will realize the cage was built from sentences, and the key lived in your pocket, misnamed, ignored. Take one human step tonight, not a heroic leap. Place a hand on your heart. I am with you. If you share life with someone, look into their eyes as if meeting the world for the first time. Move slowly. Let tenderness teach. No summary, no morals, only an invitation. I have not given you answers. I have given you disturbance. Good. Truth disturbs before it is liberated. Go and sit with this discomfort. Don't believe me. Don't reject me. Experiment. Live. Watch. If suppression brings peace, suppress. If awareness brings transformation, you have found the key not from my words, from your own experience. And a simple note for attentive ears: what follows from here is best taken where the breath is unhurried and the heart is mature. Nothing to prepare, nothing to prove, only a little more space than usual. Keep that space, and the next unfolding will find you.